They say justice is blind. Fortunately, we're not, so we can review these toys, which are around here somewhere.
Season 1 of Daredevil has just finished on Netflix.
Yep.
It's proved to be a very successful television show.
Extremely successful. I believe it's the most successful streamed original content so far.
That's great.
Really going extremely well.
And it's really, really good. Mm-hmm. You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I've seen all of it, and I'm a big fan.
Damn you.
But Daredevil himself, the character, has a long history.
Yep.
A few iterations, comic book, movie.
Yep.
Was there another TV series before this?
No, but he did make an appearance in a TV movie.
Ah.
The Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
I'm Matt Murdock. I'm an attorney.
Yeah. Pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah, right. But we're looking at a couple of Daredevil toys, right, today. One of them, I believe, might be from the comic books, and one of them might be from the movies. So,
absolutely.
What do we got here?
Okay, so what we've got here is two different Daredevils from the Marvel Legends line. First up, we've got the Daredevil from the movie Daredevil, as played by Ben Affleck, also known as Batman.
Mm-hmm. Or Batfleck.
Or Batfleck, or that guy who's going to ruin the entire Batman franchise.
Revenge won't make the pain go away. Trust me.
And so this figure was from, I think it was about Series 4 of the original Marvel Legends series. Now, this was done by Toy Biz. So it came out around the same time as the movie itself.
Yep.
And you can see that there's a lot of aspects about it which sort of reflect the toys as they were at that time.
Okay.
The other one that we have here is the comic book Daredevil that has come out in the more recent Spider-Man Infinite series, Marvel Legends. So this is a pretty new toy, and it really encapsulates a lot of the current status of the Marvel Legends line.
Where does the devil part of this idea come from? What's that all about?
Basically, it just comes purely from his costume. When he originally debuted in the 60s, his costume was very different. It was this yellow and black and red sort of outfit, which only lasted about 4 issues before they changed it over to this primarily red one. So there's been different takes on it, saying that the Daredevil came from the name that kids would taunt Matt Murdock with as he was growing up. His father was Batman Jack Murdock, who sometimes is called Jack the Devil Murdock.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of one which doesn't necessarily play into his origin. It's just sort of like a thing which he came up with and has really become a defining part of the character.
In every relationship, there's a bull and a cow. It just so happens that in this relationship right here with me and you, I'm the bull. You're the cow. All right? Bull. Cow.
Let's start with the Batfleck version. What's sort of interesting or unique about this particular version of him, do you think?
Well, in terms of the action figure, it's really interesting in that it came out in the Marvel Legends line, which the big selling point of it was super articulation. And yet, this figure lacks a lot of articulation. If you take a look, his head does have some movement, but not very much. It is on a ball joint, but it's limited, so it's really pretty much just a swivel. The bigger factor is that unlike the ball-jointed shoulders and hips that most of the Marvel Legends figures have, these ones are just straight swivels.
Yeah,
they
which
only
looks
go
very,
up and down.
very old-fashioned.
Yeah, so yeah, the arms don't have that much motion in them. The legs don't have that much motion in them. There's no torso crunch or anything like that. He's very much a throwback to the way that figures were before Marvel Legends hit.
One unique thing I do notice about his right hand here is it looks like there's sort of a pin through this part of the hand, which means his hand can close up like that and hold onto the weapon. So
the early Marvel Legends figures, actually most of the Marvel Legends figures from Toy Biz actually had that hand articulation. It's something which is really interesting and hadn't really been done up until that point, but it is something where it can be a problem, especially if you want the figure to actually hold something. The grasp is not that great, and particularly if that joint becomes loose, then the hands will just flap open all the time.
yeah, so the irony is they've tried to work in a design feature that makes it an improvement, but it actually is a bit of a hindrance at times.
A little bit.
Well, let's take a look at this figure. This is the comic book version of Daredevil.
Yep.
Yeah, some improvements have been made here. I can see them already. You were talking about the shoulders of the other one and the shoulders of this one. Clearly a much better design here. Now the head here looks a little interesting. It's not quite a ball joint, is it?
It's actually a hinge and ball joint. So what you have here is figure who can move his head around and also move up to be able to basically be looking where he's falling. So really you get a much larger range of motion out of him.
His physique is a little cooler as well, isn't it? It's a bit more muscle-bound and slightly heightened.
Absolutely.
Which actually makes him look a lot cooler
Yeah.
on your shelf. You know, he stands out.
The interesting thing with Daredevil is that he's a character which is quite flexible. Some people have drawn him more as a svelte athletic sort of thing,
Yeah.
given that he has the sort of gymnastic ability.
Yeah.
Other people have done him more a bit beefier, playing on his sort of boxing heritage.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing that you can pretty much go any way that you want to with him, and it still works.
Towards the end of this first series, we did see him in his costume, so the design is there. It's been shown to the world. So a toy version of that would be really cool. We'll bring him in and we'll compare him to these two. I reckon.
Absolutely.
Not everyone deserves a happy ending.
So there's two versions of Daredevil, one from the movie, one from the comic books. Let us know what you think of these guys down below. Don't forget to subscribe. We're out of here for now, right?
Yeah, but we'll be back. OSD will return.